Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good day and is ready for another video in the series we like to call Underrated Throwers. Today we got episode 101, and today we got a special one for me, Simone Pettersson or Peterson. I can never pronounce his last name. Some people pronounce it. I don't know. But I hope I'm getting that right. If I'm not, I'm truly sorry. So, excuse me. I haven't actually recorded a long format video in a while, and that's because I lost my voice for like almost 2 weeks. And as you can tell, hopefully you didn't pick up the cough I just had, but um, I'll be having the microphone a little away when I feel a cough coming, so hopefully it doesn't interfere with your audio experience. If it does, I'm truly sorry, but I can actually speak now, so I can now record a video. I've been wanting to do this. I planned to do this like 2 weeks ago, but external circumstances happen, so I am truly sorry about that. But hopefully, my voice is a little bit better. I guess now, still not 100%, but we push through. So today we got Simone Peterson. Okay, yeah. And he is a silver medalist at the Tokyo Olympics in 2020 or 2021, depending on how you want to look at it. Behind Daniel Stahl, his teammate, one of the last athletes that the great Vestin Hestisen coached. Um, excuse me. And overall, I think just a fantastic technician. And the reason I think he's underrated is one, he has a PB of 70.42. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna link all his accomplishments and PB, height, weight. He's 6'6", like 231, if memory serves me correctly. At least on the weight. I know he's like 6'6", and I've actually seen him in person throw in 2019. And he is an absolute unit. One of the freakiest athletes. If you've seen him like lift or anything, especially cleans and snatches, it's honestly freaky to see someone that tall and that lanky to lift, like do Olympic lifts. It's really crazy. But to see him in person, I mean, oh my god, he is an absolute like behemoth of a man. Oh my god. But doesn't weigh that much, but he's just all muscle. Like he's just thick. Like he has what I call like a refrigerator build, where it's just like it's like a bouncer, like a lumberjack. It's just like god damn, whatever. But this isn't a video about that. But yeah, overall, just a fantastic technician, and I think he's underrated because being teammates with Daniel Stahl for all your career, pretty much. I mean, that's tough. I mean, because you're competing against Daniel Stahl, and they're from the same country. They're both Swedish. And yeah, but he's held his own consistently, finalist in major competitions, and still really young, a lot younger than Stahl. Um, Unfortunately, didn't qualify for Paris. Well, like didn't qualify for the final or the World Champs final in Budapest. But those were also two of the toughest competitions like ever. So I mean, that's not necessarily like his fault. I mean, he could have threw further, I guess, but I mean, whatever. People have those days. But he's proved it on the biggest stage. Got a silver medal in another tough competition in Tokyo. That was an insane competition as well. And yeah, overall, fantastic technician. And yeah, I just think he just goes underrated. I mean, he's accomplished a lot in a short amount of time, and his technical prowess. I mean, obviously being coached under Vestina Styson, I mean, I expect nothing less. He produces 70-meter throwers like it's nothing, um, which is why I consider him the greatest discus coach of all time. But I think what's very unique to him is that he uses his length very, very well, but in a very unorthodox way. I think he has a very unorthodox orbit in the way he achieves it. And I think that's also another like unique or underrated thing. So in this series, I always highlight what I classify as underrated versus like my technical analysis series is one, like people just probably don't know them, or I think they're like overshadowed and they need a little more praise, or they do some unique things. So he fits two of those three criterias. In terms of, I think he's been a little overshadowed, at least in my opinion. And I think he does some very unique things. Obviously, he does like the basic stuff super well. Obviously, like so this throw, 66-32, brought to you by Global Throwing, which is their club or their like training group name that used to be run by Vestina Tyson. I don't know if it still is run by it, but Gert Cantor and him started that and whatnot. So yeah, but I if you're not subscribed to Global Throwing, go subscribe because there's some old footage of some great discus throwers, some great shot putters, some old Vestin videos and stuff talking about the throw. That really was inspiring to me in high school and stuff. And hold on. Oh, sorry about that. I hope me putting the mic away when I cough. I hope that is better for the audio. Maybe this mic is a little sensitive and that doesn't really matter that I'm doing that, but I'm trying my best. So I do apologize that you get to hear my coughing, but I wanted to put this video out. So yeah, just bear with me, please. I do apologize for that. But let's get started. So let's just watch this just a couple times. So this is a 66-meter 32, obviously not his PR. His PR throw was at a weird angle. It wasn't a very flattering angle. I wanted to get one from the back, but I actually never really do side view videos, so I thought that would be interesting. Usually I like to do analysis from the back of the ring, like the camera facing the back of the ring, but this will do. So let's get started. So as you can see, a very exaggerated high point, but it doesn't really look like it's not like a high point like like Gert Cantor kind of gets, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So as you can see, absolutely lanky individual. What I mean by lanky is that like his arm is bent and his hand is like almost in line with his knee. I mean, to me, like him, Virgilius Alekna and Robert Harding probably have like the best builds for a discus thrower in terms of just being like tall, lanky, thin, not thin, but like just like muscly, not really that fat at all. Like in terms of like having a belly and stuff and just supremely fast, coordinated, and they just have like all the attributes. I guess Lars Riedel as well. Just like all the attributes as well. So like if I was to make like a dream discus thrower, Simone Peterson would be one of the body like types I would want. I mean, yeah, it's just amazing. He's like just such a physical specimen. But I'm gonna stop, gushing over his body because that's weird. But let's get over to his wind. So winds, very nice wind, very deep wind. Um, Pretty evenly distributed. I know it's hard to see on a side video, but I've watched him for years and stuff. So he has a pretty evenly balanced wind in terms of weight distribution. Very even keel here. Just a little bit of a like low to high. Um, isn't quite like flat in his wind, but it's just that the wind to me is more of a preference thing, especially at this level. If you're consistent at it, you can wind however the hell you want as long as it doesn't affect the throw. Um, at least like when you're get good, basically, in layman's terms. So let's go to the actual interesting parts. So the wind here keeps the left foot arm in front inside the left knee, very Vestin like in terms of coaching, and then he'll start to use. Actually, he doesn't use the left arm nearly as much. I thought he was going to be like Gerd or Stahl, or sorry, Cantor and Stahl. I don't know why Gerd sounds weird. Just Gerd, whatever. Um, and you can really tell. So a big thing I see. Hold on. Oh, jeez, sorry. Uh, um, a big thing I see is one. God damn, his wingspan. Okay, I got to get off that. Sorry. Oh my god, his wingspan is insane. I wish I knew what his wingspan was. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments because, like, good golly, oh, I'm jealous. Anyway, so he turns out the back and he kind of sinks just a little bit here. And you notice that when he sinks, he's kind of just going straight down. He's not sticking his butt out or his glute back. and that's a big thing I see in a lot of younger throwers and whatnot. Um, because it feels super powerful, and you want to feel like a back squat and stuff. But what that does is it doesn't let your hips be under you. So now your hips are going to be behind you the entire throw, and you're not going to have an efficient throw, and you're going to be super upper body dominated through the throw. So he does an excellent job of this. He also does an excellent job of controlling his upper body and letting the legs and the left hip turn first. Very nice job. And he does an excellent job of using his length in his limbs, and just is super wide through the throw, especially upper body wise. So really, really nice patience here. So he picks up the right foot after his left foot is at 90, and then his sweep goes out and around. Love that. The amount of stretch he gets, amazing. Uh, Throughout his entire throw, the discus is behind him. And this position right here is a textbook position. Oh my god. Honestly, that kind of looks like Robert Harding out the back, to be quite honest. And from a side view, which I can't say about very many people, but honestly, yeah, it looks a lot like him. And in terms of the sweep, very nice. And I love just how he attacks the ground a lot from his sweep to the middle. Very, very nice there. Doesn't get a lot of airtime, especially because he is really tall. Um, Even though 6'6" honestly is like average for like an elite discus thrower, which is another insane thing. But for the average population, 6'6" is an enormous human being. But yeah. So he gets here, very nice, and this is where he gets to the interesting part. So the left side stops in terms of his foot. His He holds the chest here, so he allows his left side to open a little bit. I really like that because it makes it easier to turn around and get your hips a lot more ahead of you. If he was to like stop his left arm here, it'd be very hard for him to keep turning his hips and to sweep, and it would kind of just make him stop early and negate what he did out the back to produce all that energy. So I really like that he opened it, but the left arm doesn't. It's not like it's ripping and it's like over here. It's still just. Oops. Um, it's still just a T here. So very nice. And then as the left arm goes, the left foot leaves the ground. This is the interesting part. He does what I call like saddling a horse in terms of his uh, right hip in the middle. In terms like you see like westerns or anybody that's ridden a horse, you like throw your leg over it and stuff, kind of like how you would like get on like a motorcycle or something. And he does an excellent job of that. So that's very like Cantor-esque. Cantor was very known for that. And that was like a big thing, especially when I was growing up, because Cantor was the it factor back then. Because I'm old, but and yeah, I mean it's just awesome the way he does this, and he does this to establish a high point. Uh, a little different than how I would coach like a shot putter to do this, because I don't like exaggerated high points in shot put, especially if you're throwing like a 16 pound, compared to like a high school. But this isn't the video for that, so we're gonna get off that topic. But very, very nice here, still holding the chest, and his timing is absolutely beautiful. So he pre-turns super well, and if you notice, he's gonna keep this at his high point until his left comes down, which is very unique. And it's gonna look a little bit weird. Actually, he doesn't do it quite as much in this throw. Usually, his high point, stays there longer. I guess not in this throw, but I guess maybe that's why I didn't go as far. I say that 66 meters is still a really good throw, and it doesn't look very windy at all, so that's also really good. But the very unique thing he does is usually the upper body will move. a lot during this phase, and he has some of the best patience in the game in terms of not really moving the upper body. Like, yeah, your upper body's going to move just a little bit because you still want to be super fluid and whatnot. But I think he does a fantastic job of landing here. And if you notice this position, I talk about it a lot, but you can really see it from the side. His hips are facing towards 90 or where the camera is looking on. And excuse me. And really the discus is far back. The left foot hasn't touched down quite yet. Let's see. There we go. The left foot touchdown. Very nice here. And you notice this left foot is pointed out. And I really like that because I like to think you want to land kind of duck footed in the front, just like you kind of start duck footed in the back of the ring. And I think that leads to a lot more of tension in your hips than landing in your left foot is like pointed towards your right foot. I like them pointed away from each other. So like this right foot pointed at 90 and then this left foot pointed a little out. And as long as you hold your upper body back, that's going to create so much tension and so much stretch reflex in your body that you're just going to snap through. And he does a fantastic job of this, and you can really see it. And I think he also has a super good right foot as well and block. So he gets here and super good on his block. He does a super good job of transferring weight over his block leg. So you can see another thing I see, and you can really see it from the side angle. So I don't talk about this that much because I don't normally do videos from side angles, but since we are doing this, I guess I'll talk about it now. People talk about the reverse C and all this stuff. What creates a reverse C is not throwing your shoulders back. So you see, through his throw, he hasn't actually really moved a lot of his shoulder arms. His legs are doing all the work. And that's why, like, the saddle the horse cue that I like to use, that gets you the high point. Whereas, like, in shot put, I tend to coach more of like how like blue trick kind of coaches a little bit, like kind of just sweeping down, because it's a shorter ring and stuff. Like here, because he's tall and he's throwing discus, you want a little higher of a high point, especially if there's no wind. You want a little bit of a higher high point, just because you don't have to worry about the wind carrying it too much. And so yeah, but the reverse C happens, and what I mean by a reverse C, so you let me do this kind of thing. The reverse C you see here, where it looks like he's kind of leaning back. But if you notice, what causes that is the hip going around and over the block leg. He's not throwing his shoulders back. And I tend to see that, especially in high school. Actually, going to a lot of high school meets lately, I've been seeing that a lot, and it's really affecting the releases. They release so weird. There's very few high schoolers I see nowadays like actually have clean releases, and it's very weird to me. Because usually it's like a very common thing, and I don't know if it's because of this or not doing enough stand throws or whatever. It can be a lot of things, but yeah, at almost like every meet, 80% of the high schoolers I see like don't have good releases at all. In terms of like release angle and the way the discus flies, it's very weird. Um, so excuse me. Um, Yeah, but what really causes this reverse C is the hip going around over the block and then pushing up. So you notice he goes here and waits until the left foot has some weight, and then he turns, keeps the right knee bent. The left knee is a little bent, and then at the last second, you see how it pops? So he pushes through the ground over his left foot while the left foot pushes back, and that makes him stay in one place and keeps the discus from going a little too far out. And this really snaps the hips. So it's the opposing forces. So one direction, so your right side's going forward while your left side's going back. What this does is it really snaps your hips through, and it creates a very strong block, and two, it allows you to save a lot more throws as well. and it just makes the finish a lot more solid in a reverse. If I was coaching a non-reverse, I would coach a little more like a true non-reverse, like someone who does it in competition. I like a little bit more of a left bent knee, or like a bent block knee, just a little bit, and just really going down into the ground, kind of like how you would in Jav a little, besides the block, but I'm talking about the right side, and just like in terms of like the knee going down and over the block. But for reverse, love this. Keeps the knees bent. So you don't want to land with your left knee extended because you're going to shift. So the reason why he lands like this is because look at this angle he's at. So all he has to do is turn and lift with his legs, and his hips will do the rest, and he'll create a really good release angle. And he doesn't have to do anything with his upper body. So he's already at a super good trajectory in terms of releasing with the discus. So that's another thing I see. A common mistake is that people land with this left knee extended and locked out. So what that does is, one, it pushes you back, and then two, you can't really turn and get over the block, so you're gonna fall away from it, and it's just gonna you're gonna hinder your throw a lot, and it's just gonna cause a whole bunch of issues. Usually, when people do that, they tend to have to pull a lot to get themselves around with their upper body, which is not ideal at all. But he does a fantastic job of not doing that. So he gets here, boom, discus is out of his hand, and a easy save, easy, 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 and that's what you want. When you reverse properly, you save the throw because the whole throw is designed around staying in the ring. Um, so if you do the throw properly, you'll stay in the ring. And doing the throw properly looks different for everybody, but what doing doing like having the right forces and the right ways and whatnot, that's what makes you stay in the ring. That's the reason why Brian Krauser, doesn't really uh foot foul or fall out the front. You know, it's because he's just so consistent, so dialed with his reverse, and obviously he's the greatest shot putter ever, and arguably the greatest thrower ever. Um, Around all the events, I think one could make that argument, but I'll at least give him the best shot putter ever. It's between him and Valerie Adams, but at the very least, the best men's shot putter. And yeah, but that's the reason why. So if you have a lot of foot fouls and whatnot, chances are you're shifting your weight so that like when your left foot lands, you're going to be a lot more like here instead of this right knee bent most of the weight over the bent right knee and both knees bent. All right. And also with when you land with a bent left knee, it's probably going to land sooner as well because you're not reaching. And when you reach with this left foot, and what I mean by that is like the left foot's like reaching and like trying to like just step to the front of the ring instead of turning the hips. That's going to stop your right side from moving, and it's going to disconnect you a lot. So he does a fantastic job of going like here, excellent pre-turn, and he just kind of sinks into it with his right knee. So he kind of sinks a little bit down with his right knee while turning his left glute around. And now he lands in this beautiful position here and then just slams the finish. And you also notice that his head, when he finishes, is look, he's still looking at the discus. Now, I don't usually coach this very much, but it's just I wouldn't say a stylistic thing. It's more of like a textbook kind of thing. I tend to coach that a lot more in shot put than discus because it's kind of hard to do in discus without slowing down. But when you're this lanky and this fast, it doesn't really matter that much. But really, really nice here. Just honestly, textbook technique, honestly. And I think he's a good technical model, not just for tall people, excuse me, but for just high schoolers in general. He does all the fundamentals super well, as does like almost every elite thrower. That's why they're elite. But it's also just super simple, and I think especially if you're like a smaller type of thrower, like in terms of weight. Now, obviously, a lot of high schoolers aren't 6'6". If you are, good for you, I guess. But especially if you're a taller thrower, I guess he's a very good technical model as well. But finding tall technical models in discus is a dime a dozen. Honestly, everyone's tall, so I wouldn't really single him out. But I mean, I would because he's a great technician and whatnot. But yeah, overall, just I love his throw so much. And you don't see a lot of people get this high of a hip in the middle. Gerd Cantor is one of the only ones I see. A lot more people now have a flatter orbit. Um, but yeah, overall just fantastic and really uses all his attributes physically to his advantage. And I love it. I love his throw so much. We'll watch it a couple times. Oh, beautiful. So yeah. Otherwise, not much else to say. Thanks for all you watching. Again, I'll link his personal best, height, weight, and notable accomplishments in the video description. Hope everyone liked this video, and let me know if you have any comments in the questions. Oh my God, sorry. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section, and if you have any suggestions of people you want me to analyze and stuff. And yeah, hopefully my voice and coughing didn't hinder your enjoyment of this video. And otherwise, thanks for watching and have a good one. See y'all later.